So you essentially like created like the recipe for like a lip scrub.
Yeah, I did, and I was just in hair and makeup, and they were all like, "We love a lip scrub," and I was like, "I kind of created it." I'm Sara Happ, and I'm founder and CEO of Sara Happ Inc. My background is in broadcast journalism, and I took a job out of college with ESPN. But I always say that I was inspired by how uninspired I was. I looked at all my coworkers who loved the network. I would go home at night and I would read Allure and In Style, and I realized that beauty was what I loved more than media, more than sports. I began reading beauty editors say that you should exfoliate your lips using a wet washcloth or a toothbrush. And I Googled it one time. This was in 2005. I Googled the term lip scrub. Google returned no results in 2005. I felt like I was like sitting on this like golden little secret. So I went to my kitchen, I pulled out like mixing bowls, and I went to like Whole Foods and bought sugar, edible essential oils, and just began mixing stuff together in a mixing bowl with like spatulas. And began using it to scrub my lips daily. And the results were instantaneous. And I was like, if I'm obsessed with this, I bet other girls will be too. And boys. Because it was a hole in the market and the product didn't exist, the product had to be so good that you would buy it just based on the packaging. I did $250,000 out of my kitchen year one in sales, yeah. And it was funny, it was all wholesale too. I was selling very little off of my own website. I really just like turned the product over to indie partners. But we've grown 20% year over year for 14 years. My biggest piece of advice for a budding entrepreneur is to reach out to people that you admire. I think a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in is the idea that they have to do everything, or that their say should be the last say on everything. And in today's world, much more than when I started 14 years ago, you can find people. You know, you can reach out to people through social media and you can find people. So I would say find mentors and be very transparent with them and just say, hey, you've done something incredible, I'm looking for your help. And let wiser minds prevail. Also, it's such a cliche, but it's true. Hire people that fill your gaps. I know what I'm not good at, and I hire smarter, I hire up, so that there are wiser minds in the room. And my favorite thing to hear, like in a room with my whole team, is no. I'll say something and people will be like, bad idea. Or here's what the research shows, and that's why we're not gonna do this. And I really appreciate that. So I think, first of all, asking for mentors, looking for people to sort of, who have done something before that you really admire is a great thing to do. And then be humble enough to know what you're bad at and look for help around you. The highs and the lows can come so fast. So you just have to ride them and you have to just kind of stay steady. And you can't get too excited about the highs and you can't get too upset about the lows. You gotta just kind of stay right here. And I've learned over time, you know, I've gotten better at kind of like riding it out. But I think that the high highs, the low lows, and how quickly those can come together, it's all part of being an entrepreneur.